Welcome everyone. Today in this video I show you how to make this easy vest. It's seamless. You don't have any line in the shoulders. It just goes through flawless. It's super simple and you can make it in a couple days. I'm going to show you how to start the front section, work this kind of pattern, and then how to shape the shoulder and neckline right here. For the material, I use four yarn for skein of this kind of yarn. It says wool yarn. It's 95% wool, and then this is worsted weight yarn. I used 4.5 millimeter needles, just one pair, measuring tape, scissor, and also a tapestry needle. I measured it, it's 350 grams. If you're ready, let's get started. Here I have prepared two sets with 35 stitches. I cast on with both needles. I removed one of the needles. I have 35 stitches here and 35 stitches here. One will be the right panel, the other one will be the left panel. On both, I have marked 5 stitches to dedicate 5 stitches for the garter stitch. And just pay attention that both of them are at the other end, at the end that we don't have the tail connected. So we dedicate these 5 stitches for garter stitch on each. I'm going to start with one of the panels first. So the pattern that we're going to work for this stitch will be completed in 2 rows. For the first row, we're going to start by knitting the edge stitch in the very first row. From the next rows, I'm going to pick up the edge stitch without knitting. I will slip it. So for the pattern that you need to work, you're going to make a yarn over before every stitch and then just make one knit stitch. Again, yarn over, knit stitch, yarn over, knit stitch, yarn over, knit stitch. This will be the repeat for row 1. I'm going to show in the English style holding. So for English style holding, to make a yarn over, you bring the yarn to the front, then you insert your needle to the stitch, and then you wrap the yarn around the needle and you make the yarn over and the knit stitch. Again, one more time. So this is the repeat you're going to work for row 1. I'm going to continue with my continental method and I will finish this row. Okay, last couple of stitches. Just before the stitch marker here, just one more thing that I'm going to mention. These yarn overs are part of the pattern. They are not meant to increase anything. We are just working a pattern. So for the last 5 stitches, I'm going to use garter stitch, and for that I will knit on both sides. It means for return rows also I'm going to knit. Transfer the stitch marker to the right side. Again here we're going to make a yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1. When you get to the last 2 stitches, you're going to make a yarn over, then bring the yarn to the front, slip these 2 stitches to the right needle without knitting, then turn, and here we're gonna knit these 2 stitches together through the back loop, and make sure to pull this yarn a little bit more while you are locking this yarn over here, and then drop these 2 stitches. Then I'm gonna lock this stitch here, make another yarn over. This is 2 together, it means I decreased 1. Then I need to increase that, decrease the stitch. So this yarn over is for that decrease there. So I lock these 2 stitches together now. Then I drop this yarn over here. This is the one that we worked for the pattern. Next is the garter stitch, so still I'm gonna knit, then lock this new stitch as well, and then drop the other yarn over, knit, lock it, drop, knit, and this is the yarn over, drop it, then transfer the marker to the right side. So from now on we're gonna work purl stitches. Purl, drop the yarn over, purl, and continue across this row. So the pattern works with making a yarn over in one row and just dropping those yarn overs in the next row. And we are working stockinette stitch, knit and purl. That's it for this pattern. You're gonna repeat these 2 rows until your piece measures enough to make the decrease for the front section. So this will be one of the panels that we're gonna work. Now I'm gonna show the other panel. This one will be a little different. Basically it's the same thing, but the way that we're gonna work, we're gonna start with 1 row of purl at the beginning until we get to this stitch here. Then we're gonna work the garter stitch, and then from the return row we're gonna work knit stitches. So for this one I will work 1 purl row first. For the edge stitch I'm gonna just knit this one here, then everything I will purl, just simple purl stitches. For the English style purl, yarn is in front and you wrap this way. I'm gonna switch to continental method and purl my row. Okay, last purl stitch here. So I will transfer my stitch marker. Okay, as I mentioned, these 5 stitches will be garter stitch, so simply just knit them. 1, 2, 3, and then you make yarn over, bring the yarn to the front, slip last 2 stitches to the right needle, turn, and then these 2 stitches will be knit together, and then you're gonna make a yarn over to correct that decrease over there. Now same here, drop this yarn over, then knit. So this time you need to make your yarn overs in this row. Basically we're gonna make yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit, and this row will be yarn over, knit. So the only difference is that we worked 1 extra row just to get to this point here, because we want to have right and left panel. I'm going to show here. So we need to have this tail on sides, not in front. If we work the same as this one, this yarn will be here. So because of that, we worked 1 extra row with purl stitches, garter stitch here as always. And then when you start from here, you start the pattern. And the pattern starts with the same garter stitch, like adding yarn overs in this row, and then in the next row you're gonna purl, drop and purl. So this will be the repeat for this side. So we're gonna work this row first. Okay, so we worked row 1, and in the return row, row 2, you're gonna drop the yarn overs and just purl. Just make sure not to have very tight ends. Just drop and purl. You need to lock the stitches just to keep that tension over there. And this will be the repeat for row 2. We're going to continue repeating these 2 rows, row 1 and 2, for both panels until we get to the desired measure. Okay, one more time here. So basically you're going to have the pattern on the right side for both, but the front section you're going to keep 5 stitches, allocate 5 stitches for the garter stitch, and the tails will be on the sides. You keep continue working this until you reach that measurement. I will be back to show the decreasing for the front section. Here I have prepared both panels with the same pattern I showed you. Also, I gave a low stem here and they are very flat now. The measure of the length is about 15 inches. At this point, I'm gonna shape the front, like for the neckline. So here at this point, we're gonna decrease 1 stitch every other row for both sides for 3 times. It means I'm gonna drop 3 stitches. At this point, I have 35 stitches. I'm gonna drop my stitches to 32, and it will be in 6 rows total. I will decrease only in this row when I'm working the front right side. I'm going to start with this one. Okay, right now I have my 5 stitches for the garter. Then I'm going to decrease these 2 stitches on knitting two together, but I'm going to use this method to give a very nice shape here. First of all, I will make my yarn over for the pattern. We're going to keep this one here, and then we're going to work these 2 stitches together. For this, I'm going to use this method. I'm going to insert into the stitch, the first stitch knitwise, and then to the other stitch through the back loop, this way. And then I will knit. And when you drop, you're going to make a very tight toggle here for this the second stitch here. That's very important. And then you leave it. Then we dropped 2 stitches to 1 here, and then you continue to the pattern. So this will be the method we're going to use for this side. For the other side, I'm going to just drop my stitches using knit two together, just a simple method. Let me prepare this side. This side is much easier. I'm right before the stitch marker here, and here I will make my yarn over. I think I have dropped this yarn over here. Then for these 2 stitches, I will make a yarn over for the pattern and then knit 2 together. Just right slanting, knit together, just standard knit together. And slip and continue to what we did. So this is the method you're gonna use for each of those panels, and we're gonna drop 3 stitches every other row, total of 3 stitches. And then after that, we're going to continue working the same pattern straight for another 4 or 5 inch. When I'm done with both pieces, I will be back to work the shoulders. At this point, when their length is enough to work the neck here, we're gonna keep these stitches on the needle, those stitches on the needle, and only continue working these 5 stitches. We're gonna keep working the same garter stitch for a couple of rows until your piece measures about 3 inches or 3.5 inch. Same pattern that we had before. If you are on the right side, yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit, yarn over, slip, knit two together, yarn over, drop, knit, drop, knit, drop, and one more here, knit and drop. When you reach to this stitch marker here, you're gonna turn, so we are not working the rest. Same, just pick up, right side, yarn over, knit, yarn over, knit, yarn over, slip, you need the length of 3 inches here for both. I'm gonna go work on both sides, same here. We're gonna continue working these 5 stitches only, the rest will be on the needle, and then I will be back. When you are done with this section here, you're gonna bind up all the stitches. I'm gonna work this one through the back loop. Okay. I will do the same, exactly same thing for this section here. Okay, now I will cut both yarns here. Just one of them I will leave a little extra tail just to attach these 2 sections together. You can do it later or now, it's up to you. I'm gonna do it later. So now we're gonna pick up stitches from this section right here and then continue with those stitches here, and that will be the back of the cardigan, and then you will attach the yarn and you'll knit. Just make sure to pick up the same number of stitches. Okay, when you picked up the same number of stitches from both sides, here at this point, we're gonna add our yarn. Because we need to work these stitches as well. This side is already been worked. So I hold with my hand here And then I start with one yarn over just before the first knit stitch to work the pattern. Now you have all the stitches on the same needle. You're gonna keep working the same pattern, return row and knit row, until your piece measures enough for the back, which is usually same size, same length of the front section. And then at the end, you can attach this part right here with getting use of a tapestry needle. I'm going to continue working, and when I'm done with the back section, I will be here. Okay, I finished the back section the same size that I did for the front pieces. Then I attach these two parts on both sides using the mattress stitch. If you don't know how to work the mattress stitch, I have the tutorial on my channel. You can see that how seamless look it has when you use the mattress stitch. And that's it all. As you can see, it's super simple and easy, and you can make it in couple days. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, you can leave your comments and I will reply. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more tutorials.